Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic, and there's a special one for you here today, guys. We're going to play The Need for Speed. Let's just read the description. You're going to see why this is special. Drivers are usually required to stay safely within the speed limits and operate a calm and relaxed service. But today, things are different. So we're going to carry out a publicity stunt to show off speed capabilities for the introduction of the Intercity 125 high-speed trains HST. This is a 60-minute scenario, and we're going to basically go back to, I don't know, 1979 or whenever this train came out, because this train's been around for 40 years, so this definitely happened during the 70s, so it makes sense for this DLC, because this DLC is set in the 70s. The HST came out then. We're going to go ahead and show off how fast this sucker can go. So we're going to have some fun with this one, guys. 60-minute scenario. I assume it's a full route journey, because if we're going 60 minutes, it must be a full route. So let's go ahead and just go fast today. That's all we're doing. We're just going fast. We're probably going to make stops on the way, but we are going to be going fast. That's all there needs to be said. Going fast is fun. Let's go. Good afternoon. You have a grand duty today. You'll be running one of the first passenger services in the new intercity high-speed train. This will be a heavily watched service, so we need to show off the power and speed of this high-tech train. 50 Rogers and more. We have a nice parking garage here in Darlington. I've never actually been in Darlington yet. Let's bring up the HUD. Let's see what we're doing here today. We are leaving at 25 miles per hour. Don't know what that is. We're leaving at 25 miles per hour as our initial speed offering here. That cannot change. We have to stay safe within the station. But after we get out of the station, we're going to be able to eventually get up to a much, much higher speed, I believe. So let's see what we're going to be able to do here today. I have a feeling, as we pass the ever-present EN444 signal, that we're going to be breaking some boundaries today. I'll be very, very happy if they allow us to go faster than 125. That's what I want to see. Just let us go faster than 125. But naturally, we have to be safe within the station grounds. We're leaving Darlington. We're following a path that cannot handle fast speeds. So we're going to get onto the track, and then we're going to see what happens. And you know what? No, we're not going to be going at super fast speeds. I stand corrected. So we're just following normal speeds right now. We'll find out. What train is that? 1400 British Freight. We have a freight service going by. Excellent. Just what I want to see. Freight. Now, you know I was saying stop to pick up passengers. That's because we don't have to. We pick them up at Newcastle, and we're going to circle around and come back. That's what we're doing here today. So we got the bellow of green, which I love to hear at this in the cab. We're waiting for the 80 to fully wash over our train before we enter a 70. I would blow the horn, but I've been dinged for bad horn use already, so I'm not sure I trust the horn to be valid for use during this scenario. Let's bring up the briefing for a moment. I'm just trying to see if there's anything interesting here, and no, I don't see... Oh, we're transporting press up in the train today. Excellent. The press is here to see how fast this train can get. Well, that's pressure. Wonder who was on board from the Independent today. Did the Independent exist back then? I don't know. The Guardian surely did. And the Independent might be a paper I just made up for some reason. If it's the Guardian, I'm probably trying to think of when I say the Independent. So before I make up more British news services, yeah, we're just following normal speeds. I thought we were going to be given the permission to go at super fast speeds today, but no, we're just being told to go at the normal speed limit, which for this day, this is actually considered fast. So, yeah. So it is about 2:45 on a lovely afternoon here. Heading towards Newcastle, stopping at platform 8. Maybe the way back is where we're going to get the special burst of speed we're allowed to go to here, because we have 33 miles to go. We're going to take almost an hour to get there at this rate, which makes absolutely no sense. No, half an hour, sorry. About half an hour to get there at this rate. A little more than that, actually. And checking this list, we're going to have to eventually go via a high-level bridge and come back towards Darlington. So, Darlington, as you may remember, is back there. That's where we're finishing, 69 miles from now. I really want to just drive this at 125 the whole way, because the scenario info suggested we were going to be doing that. Maybe like I said, maybe it is the return trip. Maybe it's the return trip. The other track may be bugged for the fast speed the whole way. Therefore, keeping this a 60-minute scenario. We're going to be entering an 80 mile per hour section here. Almost said kilometer again. So we're coming up on 65. So much for going fast. I don't know why I'm increasing speed. We're going to be dropping our speed in a moment anyway. So forget that. We're going to coast. There's our warning for the 65. So now we're officially going to drop it. After we clear this 65 section, about a mile and a half or so, we're going to be back into 85 mile per hour territory, which is actually our highest speed limit so far that we're going to be driving. We have a green in both lanes. That is hilarious. Alright, we have cleared the signboard. We are now going up to 85 miles per hour at this time. I feel like we've already passed Durham Station and I missed it, which is really not the way to do things. I should be aware of what I'm passing at all times. Let me get a quick confirmation of that here. Unless that's... Nope, that's not it ahead. Let me get a quick confirmation I have indeed passed Durham Station. Where am I? I am down here. And, no, I have not passed Durham Station. For some reason, I thought I passed Durham. Durham is actually... Ah! This is probably around the area where Durham is. So it's still far away. For some reason, I thought Durham was closer than it actually is. Silly me. But we have nothing between Durham and Darlington. So it's a long trek between Durham and Darlington. So we still got a few curves to go before we see any stations. So let's go ahead and take a close look at the livery being used for this particular high-speed train service. Just going to put a little throttle back on as we look outside. And you can see the Intercity 125 with the hyphen in Intercity. I don't think it's there today. And we have additional coaches behind that also have the Intercity logo. So this is the livery that we are working with today. And lovely livery for its time. A little outdated today, but nice to see it all the same. Very nice to see. E43073. So the numbering appears to be not the numbering that we use today for the where it would not be numbered as 43 something. Hello. It's actually numbered as... I'm speeding. Whoops. That's what I get for not paying attention, guys. So yeah, the numbering appears to be the pre-tops numbering. This is happening in a pre-tops error, which is why it's numbered the way it is. Let's hope the press didn't notice I was over the speed limit just a smidge there. They came to see the train go fast. Yellows and reds in the lanes over in the yard. All reds over in the yard, all greens over here. We seem to have chopped 3 minutes off of our arrival time, which is a good start. Notice the green on those two lines were showing different positions there. That's fairly interesting. Just because of the type of signal that was used. Seems to be the same on the other side of the tracks as well when going the other direction. Oh, they have a red now. I think a train has been designated to take the path in this direction, so it's going to because it went from green straight into red, so that's not normal. There must be a train now suddenly designated onto this path. We have a 65-mile-per-hour section coming up. Both lanes are green again. Very interesting. We're watching for a warning of the 65. I don't see one. I'm going to slow down starting at this signal right now. There is a warning for the 65. I'm a little early. That was a level crossing. So clearing this 65 section, we're going to eventually enter an 85 on the other side of it. So just a small 65 stretch punctuating into this 85-mile-per-hour area of track. Nope, there's a green signal. So yeah, no trains coming in this direction yet. We're coming to a downhill gradient. It's a 1 in 150 downhill gradient we are currently on. And I believe our train is trying to pick up speed in this section. I'm going to pull it back just a wee bit here to make sure I don't speed. Because right now I seem to be holding very nicely on this. I think that was a whistle board, but I don't trust whistles now after being tagged in 2 scenarios for it. Ah! The 1435 British local, and somehow we had green signals driving against it. I don't know why that was on the other track, but it was. So we're coming to the end of the downhill gradient, which is why I went ahead and sped back up a little bit. We're going to be going uphill in a moment. We're also going back up to 85 miles per hour, which I'm going to go ahead and speed up to presently. Look at this view. Look at this view. Look at that. That's what you call... Okay. That's what you call... Okay. That was what you call a view. How about this? Is that a view? That's not really a view. How about this? Is this a view? This is a view. That's not a view. I give up. You got a few shots there, guys. Let's go ahead and keep going. Okay, what I thought was a whistle board, that's actually a mile marker. Now I'm realizing this. I don't think I see them on the way from Newcastle to York, but apparently from York to Newcastle they do show them. Very interesting. So now on a 1 in 163 uphill gradient, which is working against my speed a little bit. We're about to enter a downhill gradient in a moment. So I've eased off the speed to assist with that. Passing under a bridge here. Beauty. This train is bouncing around a little bit. A little concerned with that. Oh, look at these bounces. This does not feel normal. This does not feel normal. Reacting to the gradient changes, but it's nauseating in a way. Warning of a 30, that is probably for a siding entry, so I'm not concerned about that. We can see the 65 coming up on the HUD. Here comes the view, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the view you seek right here. There's your screenshot of the day. Meanwhile, we're going to start slowing down a little bit. I need to slow down a lot, actually, so let's go ahead and just bump that up a bit. Ooh, just in time. Got down just in time. There's the 125 I'm looking for. We're only at about, I don't know, 5-10 miles of that, but it's our chance to open it up and show it off. And you bet I'm going to try to reach it today, especially if Press is on board. I'm going to try to reach it. Okay, guys, you ready to go fast? Here we go. I was a little early, but we're going to do it. Okay, Press, I hope you're watching. If we don't hit our 125, we're going to hear about it the next morning. So we're 1 in 150 gradient is our current gradient heading downhill. That is an interesting looking tree. Looked like it was cut in half on the top there. Or cut like a piece was going to fall over. Another of those viaducts. I don't have the data on all the viaducts for this currently in front of me, so forgive me for being a little less or a little more ambiguous about what all these things are named. Some of them I may not even have names for, given how far north they are of London. I mean, the Carlisle to Glasgow route, there's a lot of things I don't have names for. It may not even be named in many cases. Okay, we're up to 101. Lovely. Lollygagging out the window here. Oh, that's a bit of a... Oh, there's Durham Station, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we found Durham Station. Unless that was Chester and I missed her. Let's get another view out the window here. Look at this. Look at this. Well, don't look at that. We're coming to a 55. So, the initial press reaction to the high-speed train is going to be a bust because we couldn't get up to speed. Oh well. Maybe we're going to be allowed on the return trip to just tear it apart. Oh, now you give us a warning for the 55. We wouldn't slow down in time without warning. In fact, at this point, I don't think we're going to slow down in time at all. Okay, we are going to make it. There it is. Down in plenty of time. So we are now about 6 miles away from Newcastle. We're now under the mile-a-minute range. Let's lollygag out this window and look at this blue building passing by. Lovely. Also the bushes. Lovely. Oops. There you go. That's a better view of the building. All right. So we're going to be passing Tyne Yard. I think I see a train over there. That's a 1507 British freight apparently leaving either Dunstan or the Tyne Yard. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with the Tyne Yard because that appears to be what's over there. This looks like it might be a yard area as well. In fact, let's look up some information on that for your interest. Oh, there's nothing marked. Oh, beautiful. That is the most useless section of track I've ever seen. Well, it is Tyne Yard, but that part is not connected, so I'm not sure what that is supposed to do back there. I honestly have no idea what that's doing back there. You can't go anywhere on that. Mile marker 76. I believe that is measured from York Station. And now here comes more of Tyne Yard, a massive place to say the least. We already saw Big Trouble in Tyne Yard in the last scenario that we played. I mean, that was the name of the scenario. It wasn't just Big Trouble. It was the name of the thing. We're currently 4 miles away from our stop in Newcastle. Supposedly we're going to be there in 8 minutes. That was an accidental speeding nav. Oops. Gonna bring that back down. Trying to figure out how it's going to take us 8 minutes to go 4 miles. There must be a yellow signal somewhere coming up and eventually a red. That's the only thing I can imagine. That or the ETA counter is extremely flawed. We'd have to be going 30 to satisfy that ETA setup, so let's see what happens here. Still green, so we're good. Now there's a yellow over on the other track over there. That's interesting. Well, I've chopped off another minute. That counts. Ah, 20 coming up. That is why we're going to be showing a 15, 16. We're going down to 20. It'll take 3 minutes to go 1 mile at that speed. So, that's still a mile away. So, 15, 15 still seems a little slow. There's a 15 coming up into the station as well. That may knock it out. There you go. Ooh. Well, the flashing yellow is actually working on the other track. That is very interesting because it doesn't work on the other signals we saw in the last scenario, did it? Or the earlier scenario, I should say on the last weekend scenario. The flashing yellows did not work on that particular scenario at all. So the fact that I'm seeing one literally working there right now is actually quite humorous. Okay, braking required. So we'll start braking as we come under this bridge right now. Actually, we need to do it before that. Let's do it right now. Oh, that line you see down there, by the way, is coming from, I believe, the Carlisle area. Remember reading something about a line from Carlisle joining the East Coast Main Line? There's our warning for the 20. And that's they're going to do right there. 1 in 198. I can't tell if it's uphill or downhill right now, but it looks like it's smoothing out, so who cares? The gradient is now 1 in 692 and changing to 568. Look at that. Let's just take a quick look from above and appreciate the road up here, shall we? Let's just appreciate this view, just like that. I don't know if I have a yellow or not, but I'm pushing Q just in case. So let's just appreciate this view. Beauty. We have a green. And here's another nice view for you. As we come around the curve here. Oh, mother. We're probably going to get a better view than this in a moment here. We're going to probably have to cross the other bridge, I'm guessing. Unless that's a road bridge. Let's get our speed down just a little more here. It's going to be hard picking a thumbnail for this scenario, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get a lot of good shots on this one. I have a feeling. Like, this could be a good thumbnail right here. Just look at that. So another line joining us over here. That might be the Tyne Valley. Actually, no, the Tyne Valley line, I'm not sure if it actually makes this kind of curve. I know we can join it from the south because we did it in a previous drop-off on a freight scenario. So that might be the Tyne Valley line, might be a different line. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, press, we're here. Are you ready to have your lives put in my hands? Your lives put in my hands? Because we're going to do it. What do you mean you're scared? Don't be scared. If those are press, they're very interesting looking press. I expected some cameras filming my arrival. Seriously, guys, where are the cameras? Weak. You are a weak press. We're not going to get the last vehicle into the platform here, it looks like. Yeah, it's that last... Oh, can't even see it now. I'm going to go ahead and just slip past the green signal. I don't care enough to be proper for that. So, oh, hi. Yeah, we're past the signal. We are past the signal now. I don't care. Anyway, we have arrived at our destination. You can see that we are going to be picking up passengers. So let's pick up passengers. Just like that. And let's take a look at the train very quickly again from a distance. Excellent work. That was a great run northbound. After some press speeches, you'll be cleared to run around past Gateshead Depot and back down the main line to Darlington. Let's make it a great second run. So have the speeches happened? I guess the speeches have happened. We're going via the high-level bridge. Let's go. We did have a green, so we know we were clear to go. Now, I might be thinking we're in Newcastle, this is the end of the route, and we're literally facing a new castle, or an old castle, I can't decide. So, to the left basically ends the journey at a route buffer. To the right is where we're going. You want another view, ladies and gentlemen? Here's another view for you. You can't get the whole castle this way, but you know what? You can get a nice view of it coming along here. Why not? Why not? You can see that castle, that lovely castle in the distance, the red signals coming in. Here's a good view of the castle. Now we got the whole thing. So there's another nice screenshot for you, ladies and gentlemen. As we cross the bridge. This is what you call... I'm just going to try and get you a good view. I'm going to give you a lot of options for views, guys. How's that for a view? That's a good view, right? No, how about this? How about this? Quiet. Ruining my fun. How's this for a view? Oh, I had a yellow signal. Well, the emergency brake got pulled, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to keep going. I didn't even know the emergency signal went. Emergency brake. We actually had a yellow. There we go. Didn't want to go, but now I'm going to make it go. So I'm going to keep in mind that we have a yellow signal now. I was not expecting a yellow signal, so our train literally just came to a stop on the bridge. That's exactly what happened as I was trying to get this last screenshot for you. So that's why you have to pay attention to the cab at all times. You can have a signal go against you at any time. I wasn't ready for it. So we're going to be continuing on to the land over there. Another line, the Tyne Valley line, I believe, coming in over there. We're going to be following along the path of that line as we go back to the line we just left. But we're going to have a red signal coming up. I have a feeling this red signal is literally going to be a signal that is going to clear us back on the main line in a moment. So not much to really discuss about that. Yep, it's a green signal now. That was just our clearance signal. There's another shed over there, but this one appears to be connected to the track layout. So just a quick peek of that. You can see that it is all connected right there. Or is it? Oh yeah, there's the siding right above us, so it is all connected. Gateshead sidings. I don't understand what the publicity stunt is here, because we're only going 55 miles per hour. We got another clearance signal, so we're still getting dinged for the various signals as we go. We didn't even have a yellow before that one. Maybe that was a yellow and turned green for us. I didn't catch. But in any case, we are clear to go. Okay, seriously, guys, when's our publicity stunt? We were told we're going to do a publicity stunt, right? Drive as fast as you can. Okay, never mind. We're not actually... Was I supposed to go fast the entire time and just break speed limits? Is that what I was supposed to do? Seriously? I actually don't know anymore. Notice yellow signals on both tracks heading towards Carlisle. I mean, the route does hit a buffer down there. But nonetheless, I still find that somewhat humorous. So that line goes under us, under the bridge that we are currently on. We're going to see that line head off in that direction. It meets a couple red signals over there, and it's going to actually just terminate over there somewhere. Even with that said, for this day, there was good scenery over there. That is some really good scenery over there as the route ends over there. I'm not going to break the realism by showing you the buffer, but I can show you the map in a second. Quick peek of the map here. Oh, that actually goes towards Dunstan. Never mind, I got the wrong area in mind. That's Dunstan. That's the track to Dunstan. So that might be the Tyne Valley line. It is to Carlisle, but we do actually have track over there that continues towards Dunstan sidings. And just a fun little fact for those who missed my previous comment on it. Way over in this area over here where the Dunstan sidings branched out, the station is now open in this general area again. So Dunstan Station has returned. These sidings no longer exist. They're gone. $1984 was the station. I don't know about the sidings. Did a cloud just materialize in front of me there, or did I imagine that? Probably imagined that. So now we're having no problems with greens, now that we don't have any more check signals here. I mean, if this route were to be recreated, they would need to recreate those signals to work properly instead of waiting for you to slow down for a red in order to then say, psych! But maybe the signals do that in real life, I don't know. Passing under a bridge here. Looks like this is a regular road here, with another road going alongside us to the to our left. Okay, here comes the 125. Is this going to be our marked publicity stunt? Are we going to go 125 all the way to Darlington? Probably not, but we are only going to Darlington. Oh, we seem to be on a little bit of an uphill gradient here. We're not maintaining speed like I expected. 1 in 150. We saw this on the way in as well. I commented on it going downhill. We seem to be maintaining speed on that. Now we're having a hard time getting speed on that gradient. Going in the other direction. These appear to be the tracks that seem to have been disconnected. No, these are different ones. These ones are connected. Where were those disconnected tracks again? I don't remember. Yeah, those disconnected tracks were somewhere else on the route. I'm not 100% sure anymore, but still really funny that those tracks were disconnected. Can't go into those other tracks at all that I saw. Alright, we're entering the 125. Oops, don't speed up yet. We are entering the 125, but we don't want to speed into it. There we go. Let's get going as fast as we can, boys. 15:58 is now our expected arrival time. That is bound to change in a moment. Now, someone is going to surely say something about the fact I'm not using the Armstrong Powerhouse sounds. Well, there's two reasons for that. One is they're not really readily available anymore, so I'm gonna probably use them at some point. Actually, no, I take this back. I'm talking about Class 47. Sorry, I'm not using the Armstrong Powerhouse model, is what I meant to say, because I'm thinking about the Class 47 pack, which is not what this is. I am going to use the Class 43 from Armstrong Powerhouse as we're coming upon, I believe, Chester here. So we're going to just go ahead and drive through here. That is a British local service you might have seen there. So I am going to be using the Armstrong Powerhouse model at some point. I have it planned. I want to use the enhancer pack to upgrade this model. This is the last actual HST scenario I think I have to run before doing the upgrade, so I can show it off in its vanilla form. I don't believe I have any other career or standard scenarios that require it. And I can probably do the upgrades at this point. So I'm going to look into doing my upgrades, but I still want to be able to reverse it back if I need to for the purpose of a scenario that uses it a lot. And seems to have problems otherwise. So I need to have the ability to reverse it back. I'm going to look into what gets installed so I can make sure that it is possible to reverse it back. I have a backup ready to go if I need to change a file without deleting the enhancement completely. I can just change the files around and change it back afterwards. So I'm going to be looking into installing the enhancement pack, and I actually want to use the enhancement pack to try and do something myself on another route. If I can figure out how to make it work, I don't know if it's going to work, but if I can figure it out, then I'm going to go ahead and use it on that route, and we're going to see if I can use the destination board for some funny stuff for a new project I want to do here. But again, I may not be able to do it. I don't know yet. We'll find out. In the meantime, I need to slow down. Now, I said there were 2 reasons, and since I forgot which train I was talking about, I don't really have a second reason anymore. But I'm also debating I might actually do the one more scenario with the model in the... what's it called? Not the Welsh Marshals, because I don't think they use the HST in the scenarios. It just shows up as AI. But I do want to show off at least one more scenario that I believe... Maybe it is Welsh Marshals. Either that or Bristol Swansea uses that train for a scenario. And after I play that scenario, I'm getting ready to fully upgrade this. Because I can go ahead and stick the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancements into any custom scenario. They should work fine, I would imagine. It's just the official scenarios, because they're set for a specific model. If you change the official scenarios to use different models, they will sometimes bark at you. Let them bark. But they will sometimes do that. So we're getting away from those scenarios, and we're going to have just... casual fun scenarios from here onwards. I'm also going to be trying to utilize some of the old scenarios that take place on Great Western Main Line and East Coast Main Line especially. But I do want to unlock... I don't want to say unlock, wrong word. I do want to use the other fictional routes I have not visited yet. I've visited Castle Rock for a few scenarios. I do have more to do there as well. But it's a good short route for showing off trains. But I also want to visit the Headborough North and Seaburgbahn, or however you say it. I always mess it up even after I've seen the name a million times. German names. It's fictional anyway. But I want to show off those 2 routes as well. I also need to check out the Ruhr-Sieg route. Once I show off Ruhr-Sieg, that'll be... and Somerset to Dorset. That'll take care of all of the original routes that occurred in Train Simulator. But I do have other routes I want to visit in the meantime that are more important for me to get to. For example, I've been talking about it before. I need to get to South London Network. I need to do more London to Brighton scenarios as well, because I got lots of trains to introduce on that route. So even as old as the route is, I still need to introduce some trains there. So the Wessex especially, the 442 is going to show up on that route. So I have to get to those kinds of scenarios too. I have to introduce a 319, which means Midland Main Line, London to Bedford, is going to get played in the same area. Another train here, British local. Here is Durham Station. Now there's no other stations between us and Darlington. There's one of our views again. Previously called the View of the Day. You know, they said go as fast as we can. I'm going to go ahead and speed up to 100% throttle here and do that. And that's a bumpy ride there. Graphics had a little bit of a glitch there, I noticed. I don't know if you saw that. We're onto a downhill gradient, so I did ease off the throttle completely, even though we are going to probably need to increase it to gain and maintain speed anyway. There's our green signal. There's our 65 limit coming up. I know they want us to drive as fast as we can, but I am not going to break the speed limit. If you want me to play higher speed limits, you got to put those speed limits on the scenario. I've seen it done with a 20, with a 10 before on Riviera Line, so I know they can do it. There's our warning, so I'm going to start slowing down. That's actually a decent warning for that speed drop, unlike the other one from 125 to 55 in about half a mile. I can't imagine that was actually a valid warning sign. Is that a yellow at the back of the train? I don't know right now. No, it's a red. Another train coming. 1400 British Express. That's 2 o'clock. British Express. That was undoubtedly a passenger service, not a freight service. Oh, by the way, what are we named today, you might be asking? We're behind trees. Hi. We're named today the 1440 Special Express. Wow, we are special. Special. We're the special one. We are getting down to about 17 miles to go and heading back into the Darlington station, platform 1. I don't know if you've noticed, but everything seems to be quiet all over the route today. I don't know why that is. There aren't trains everywhere, which is unfortunate. So I love that we got a warning for a higher speed limit. Oh, I went over 65, didn't even catch it. Anyway, there is a 1450 British freight. So we're going to see some freight cars going by here. Here's the 85, and I almost sped up illegally again. Now we're going to speed up legally. So I'm going to have several speeding penalties on this one. That's good to see. Always good to see. I'll probably be told that I had improper horn use at some point. Notice that's a two-tone horn. There is no B marker on that. I did not use the B key to blow that horn. That was a two-tone horn. I'm fairly sure the AP model allows you to have each tone separately. Green continues to be our signal, because there's just no one over here today. Interesting junction over to a siding there. I remember taking that last scenario. Or 2 scenarios ago, sorry. We were in Tyne Yard last scenario only. Or only in Tyne Yard, I should say, last scenario. Every lane is green, ladies and gentlemen. That does not seem safe. Those have to be automatic signals. What about the other side? Green in both directions, ladies and gentlemen, on the lane to our right. Like I said, that does not seem safe. Oh, of course. Well, that's 4 or 5 now. Who's keeping count? It's at least 4. I thought we were doing a publicity stunt, guys. Come on. I can't wait for the press report tomorrow. High-speed train, a bust. Never got to experience full speed. Blame the scenario designers, not me. There's one of those neighborhoods again. I saw smoke on one of those buildings. I don't know if that was a factory or a house, but smoke from the building is always a nice touch. Even for 2009 graphics. Especially for 2009 graphics. Coming down to 11 miles from Darlington. Once again, stopping at Platform 1. I hope you are enjoying this drive. It's turning out to be a lot longer than I expected it was going to be, which is unfortunate. But I'm glad to have you along for the ride. We're going to have to drop again to 70 at some point, but we're still going to be going over a mile a minute until we reach the 55 right before the station. So I suspect we're going to be at our stop in about the next 8 minutes or so, I'm going to estimate. Because I know we're going to have to slow down before the station as well. So I'm just estimating about 8 minutes. The ETA says it'll be about 12. Okay, I forgot about another 65 section. That's going to lead to the 80, I believe. So maybe it was not a 55, it was the 80 I'm thinking of. But I thought I remember a 55 leaving Darlington. Maybe I'm just thinking of the Newcastle end, which is the one that has it. Anyway, we are under 10 miles to go now. There we go. I was afraid we weren't going to get down in time, but we are down in time. We are on a 1 in 203 downhill gradient, which should not affect us too much because the 150 didn't, and that's steeper. So we should be alright here. Let's imagine that is the case. So those of you who missed my discussing it back on Saturday, obviously I'm going to be leaving the East Coast Main Line for a while after this scenario, at least this version of the East Coast Main Line. I've done 2 weeks of scenarios here now, and I feel it's time to do something else. I am still interested in whether Dovetail Games is going to be having another new route coming out. It's starting to get to the point, and I am taping this in advance, so I can't really say if they are or aren't. Maybe they've announced one by the time this video comes out. I'm tempted to go ahead and explore I'm tempted to go ahead and wait to see if they do put a route out until a little close to the date. But if I want to keep myself a couple weeks ahead, I'm going to have to just go ahead and act like that's not going to happen. So I'm going to keep an eye out and see if something comes up. And if there is something coming out, I may just interrupt what I'm planning and do a quick holdover project so I can go ahead and get us to the point where the new route comes out and I can show you the new route. But we have to have a new route announced first for us to actually look into getting. So I'll let you know because I am very interested to see what Dovetail Games comes up with in new routes nowadays. I've played in about 19 routes by now, and a couple of them have been the newer routes, and I've been interested in those. So there is some really good content coming out in the new category. Player reception is really what the difference is. So I'm going to keep an eye out, and if something comes out, I will eventually put out a project and let you know that I am going to be doing that project, planning to slip that project in properly in the schedule and putting something before it properly. And we're going to make sure that I get that out to you on release day, that I start showing you some of that stuff on release day. I'm going to make sure you get to see new content when when it interests me to right away. Now my 8-minute estimation might have been bad. Oh, come on. Stop with the speeding. Thankfully, there's no scenario points in this, or I would be hopping mad right now, to say the least. But, yeah, if a new route comes out, I want to get it to you right away if I get a chance to show it to you, if it's something that is interesting. I know there's a couple of U.S. routes that are planned by other developers, not by Dovetail Games. Dovetail Games doesn't like revealing things until maybe a week or two beforehand at most, so we don't know what Dovetail Games is planning, but I know that Milepost is looking at I was about to say Mount Shasta, but that route's already out. It's actually a route, I believe, in Colorado that has been marked on. And I think it's supposed to be a 1940s route. I think they did say it's a 1940s route. They haven't confirmed it's Colorado yet, but they've shown so many pictures that very knowledgeable people have cracked. And I'm absolutely certain that route is from Placerville to Rico, I believe is what it's called. Either way, it's a 42-mile route plus an 8-mile, or maybe 41-mile, plus an 8 or 9-mile section to a place called Telluride. And this is a track network that I believe does not exist anymore. So this was lifted since the 1940s. So that's a route that is going to be interesting. I don't know if I'm going to play it or not. It's going to be a steam route for sure. I may or may not show that one off. We will see. I also know that Larius Games is working on a route. They made a few scenario packs so far that I remember seeing. I think one of them was a Weardale Teasdale pack. I don't remember offhand. But whatever the case may be, that may be their first one, actually. Whatever the case may be, they are working on their first route. They made that public on Facebook. But they are also being very cagey about where the route is. They've shown they mentioned the name of a service. I can't remember the name of the service offhand, but a service that ran the route at some point while it was an active service. It no longer is. But the era and the rolling stock have not been announced for the route yet. He's just showing whatever he wants to right now to test the route with different stock. And we're going to find out in the future what they plan to do. I don't know if it's a he, she, or they, but what they plan to do with that route. We're getting the flashing yellow signal that is working today. So a double flashing yellow signal. So we'll find out in the future what's going to happen with the Larius route. But the guesses I've seen place it in Oregon, which would be a really nice place to have in the train simulator landscape, actually. It'd be really nice to have Oregon in there if that is correct. One of the guesses mentioned the La Grande subdivision. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if the start and end points match it exactly. I've seen a couple of guesses as to what a couple locations are, and I've made my own analysis of it. Take it for what it may. I may be wrong. The other person saying La Grande may be wrong. I don't know. They haven't announced anything yet. So I'm going to just, again, wait for them to announce something. But it sounds like both routes are far from completion, and they haven't confirmed anything on either of those two routes yet. DTG or the developers beyond pictures. So we're going to be entering a changeover area as we get into an 80. We're not even going to get up to the 80. We need to get down to 25 in a hurry. Yeah, forget that 80. We don't need it. It's useless. We have to slow ourselves down to 25. So now it's been about 8 minutes. And we're about a mile away from Darlington. So 8 minutes for the press to get their high-speed shots at 70 miles per hour, because you know that's super fast. I think I'm going too slow for the speed decrease right now, so we're going to hold... I'll be quiet. So we're going to hold off here. Keep the speed going a little while longer. It is a yellow signal, so when we see a yellow signal on that marker, that means the next signal very possibly could be red. We're going to treat the next signal as if it is red. So I'm slowing down just a little bit. I'm going to increase that brake application a little bit to get ourselves down to 30. I said 30. Okay, let's go a little bit more here. Good. So you see that lane change to the right? I think we're taking that. It makes sense that we're taking that because we're still in the main line right now. We're going to be veering off towards the station. So we're going to have about 3 consecutive lane changes here, I believe. Okay, 2. 2 consecutive lane changes. 2 does not equal 3. And platform 1 is literally this first platform here. Yeah, I don't think this counts as a lane change. Just pick left or right. It's not a lane change. And we're saying right. I don't see stations on the other side either, so, or platforms. There's not that many platforms. Well, there's a few. Okay, there's a few platforms. Just have cars, the car park in the middle. So we're going to start slowing down a little bit more so we don't cruise past the end of the platform illegally. That one lone guy over there... Oh, come on. That one lone guy over there wandering around somewhere. There he is. I think we saw him when we left. So you see the red at the end of the platform. We're just going to go ahead and stop now. It's a huge platform. Let's just do it. And that's the end of the scenario. Let's go ahead and let passengers on. And let's look at the train as we finish. You know, if I didn't know any better, I would say this train is going to be a remarkable success. Because we didn't get up to the 125 speed at all on that entire journey, and goodness knows, if you want to show off a train at full speed, you take it from Darlington to York, not Newcastle. Because that's where the 125 is, from North Allerton to York. So, yeah, that's where we should have really done this run. We didn't plan that very well, so, yeah, there you go. Well done. You amazed everyone with the huge improvements the high-speed train can offer and successfully arrived at Newcastle and Darlington stations on time. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time for something. Could be Class 455, could be a new route from Dovetail Games, could be, I don't know, an old route that I still need to play. I'll see you next time for whatever that is. More will come for the East Coast Main Line, just not yet. So if you're on the playlist, look ahead and see if there's more on the playlist. If not, come back later. We'll have more on this route eventually. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, evening, or night. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, which is free, by the way. You can hit the bell to know when I'm posting content. You'll also be able to join my Discord server if you want. All that's in the description. So have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for you, your part of the world. I'll see you next time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. I am Cyclone. Bye-bye.